So here you can see my opponent is having a issue with his arms after fighting with the rapier for only a little bit. And I think people who pick up rapiers for the first time will notice this very significantly. So it's definitely not a weapon that you can just pick up and use without any training. It's quite a bit heavier than most people would expect, and it's also quite a bit more point forward. And you'll notice as you fence with it that the longer you can stick out your point, generally the safer you can be. So looking back in time, at the way that movies are done, a lot of the rapier fencers back in the time, thinking specifically about what's his bucket that plays Saruman in The Lord of the Rings. He is very famous as a fencer. He was actually in a Three Musketeers movie. What's his name? Something starts like Count Dooku or something. I don't know. Anyways, he is an awesome fencer, but he was trained specifically in Olympic fencing, and the rapiers and the swords that they are using are a lot closer to what Olympic fencing teaches. You can see even back in the old black and white movies, the Errol Flynn movies, they're fighting a lot with weapons that aren't necessarily equivalent to what we would expect from in history. And of course they're trying to tell a story with their sword fighting. Well, real medieval sword fighting, as you can see here, is really one or two intentions, one or two little exchanges, and then there's going to be some kind of a hit that's a fight-ending hit. So, again, movies are meant to tell a story. They're not necessarily a good representation of how sword fighting works. And definitely don't listen to the weebs online who tell you that you can watch something like The Lord of the Rings and then know how to sword fight, because just like Lichtenauer says in his Zettel, it's more important to be practiced than artful. And it's way more important to be able to do these things in person, and it's not just a visual action. A lot of these guys that are going to be arguing with you online about how to fight with a sword have really never picked one up, and that's something to keep in mind anytime that you get into arguments with people on Facebook, is honestly, if they picked up a sword, they probably wouldn't know what to do with it. First thing they would say is, wow, this is heavy, and the second thing that they're going to try and do is grab it in reverse grip. So you know that you, by judgment of just picking up a sword, are always doubly more skilled than they will be.